Hello everyone, and welcome to the season premiere of What's for Dinner in 2026. This is definitely going to be an interesting year for both Aaron and I. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But for right now, let's get into today's recipe. We're going to be making a beef pasta meal. This makes a lot of food, and it's intended for it to be served over the course of several days, even freezing it for use later. So with that, let's get cooking. So as I just said, this recipe is intended to make a lot of food with the intention that you're using it over the course of several days. You can even freeze it if you'd like. So we're going to start with 3 pounds of ground beef. I had to get the tubed ground beef because they didn't have any of the normal packaged beef that I get, and I've never really worked with these. So let me get a knife. Let me get a knife and just cut into it. That works. So I have just a little olive oil in the bottom of this pan, and this is the very lean ground beef, which is the kind that I like. There's 1 pound. I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to cut those open, and we'll come back for the next part in a moment. Okay, that was an adventure. All right, now we're going to take some spices. We're going to take some black pepper. I'm doing about the equivalent of maybe 2 tablespoons or so. A little salt. You don't want too much salt. And some garlic. Some smoked paprika. Keep on here, get that going. Some red pepper flakes. And then you want about half of a chopped onion and a beautiful medley of peppers. Now, where I shop, they sell these nice prepared containers of chopped onion and the trio medley of green, yellow, and red peppers. If your grocery store does not have that, you could get just 1 pepper and cut that up, or you could get 3 different colored peppers and cut those up and use about 1/4 of each one, or whatever would equal 1 whole pepper. All right, I'm going to break this meat up a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the peppers and onions. Now, because I used the really lean ground beef, again, this is 93.7, I'm not anticipating there to be a lot of fat rendered from it, so I'm just going to leave whatever fat drains off of this into here. Now, you are going to add more to this in a little bit, but let's cook this stuff first and then we'll talk about what comes next. All right, this is looking pretty good. Let me break here for a moment. Let's add in our onion. I'm going to add in this whole container of onion. This is a yellow onion. You could use a white onion too. And then our bell peppers. Mix that in. As I said, this makes a lot of food. And this is the biggest dish I have to cook this in, and yet we're going to be adding stuff to this in a little bit. All right, I'm going to let this cook, and I'll be back when it's time to add in the next set of ingredients. Okay, so I ended up changing the containers that the beef was cooking in, as the pan that you saw earlier is just not going to fit everything else that has to go in. So I've transferred it to this bigger, deeper pot. We're going to add in 16 ounces of cooked pasta. You can use any kind of pasta you want. I'm using penne. No, I'm using the rotini, the spiral pasta. Then we're going to put in a few slices of cheese. I'm using pepper jack. And then we'll put in an entire thing of mozzarella and about 1 cup of yum yum sauce. I'm using the jarred stuff. You can make your own with Greek yogurt, ketchup, and some spices, but for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use the jarred stuff. All right, this is coming back up to cooking now. Let's go ahead and add in our pound of cooked pasta. one went a little better. How much did I lose? No, not too much. I'm going to mix this in right away. And if I didn't say it already, you can use any kind of pasta you want. Macaroni, penne, protein pasta, whatever you'd like. Okay, I'm going to throw in 3 slices of pepper jack cheese. And I'll throw in all of this mozzarella. You can use cheddar if you want. You can use a blend of different cheeses. Actually, I might throw in a little Parmesan. Just gonna throw a little Parmesan as well. And then you want 1 cup of Yum Yum sauce. That's about half of this bottle. Smells pretty good. And then pretty much you're just gonna mix all this cheese and sauce in. Really make sure you're getting up from the bottom so that all the cheese gets incorporated in. It's really working my arm out. So now pretty much what you can do is you can divvy this up into individual containers and then put it in the fridge or in the freezer. They usually keep, I think they say, like 4 to 6 weeks in the freezer and probably maybe 2 to 3 in the fridge. I don't exactly know the correct numbers, but from previous instances doing things like this, that's what I remember. Alrighty, I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to plate up some of this, and we'll try it. Alright, so if you can see, that's what it looks like. Looks pretty good, smells pretty good. Let's dive in. Mmm. Mmm. Oh yes. That is delicious. Oh my goodness, wow. That's amazing. I didn't get a lot of onions and peppers in this go-around, but if I have some more, I probably will. So, rousing success, I think, with this one. So, thank you all for watching this premiere episode of What's for Dinner in 2026. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, it's been a bit of a busy year coming up for Aaron and I. A couple things to announce. One, I think many of you are aware, but maybe you're not. I have entered formation to become a permanent deacon in the Catholic Church. It's a long process. It's about 5 years. Formation for me started back in September. I've been going at it since then, and it's been very fruitful for me, and I've really enjoyed meeting the other aspirants to this beautiful ministry that the church offers. So should I make it all the way through, Lord willing, I would be ordained in September of 2030. If you are a praying person, I would appreciate prayers for myself and for my other cohorts in this, where sometimes I think it feels like we're drinking from a fire hose with the amount of things we have to do. But it's all been very wonderful, and I've really enjoyed getting to know the other aspirants as we go through this. So in addition to that, and if my life wasn't already busy enough, and I wish Erin were here, she's out right now, but we are expecting our first child in March. Now, as many of you know, I record a whole bunch of these episodes one after another, so I am filming this in January, but by the time the March episode comes out, that will have been filmed sometime in the next few days that I'm filming these. So I won't necessarily talk about the birth of the child on that episode. I will have some sort of announcement before that particular episode begins to let you know that our child has been born. So we are very excited. We have a lot of great things and wonderful things happening this year already, and we're barely a month into it. So again, thank you all for watching. God bless. I will see you all in February. I'm going to enjoy some of this beef pasta meal. Take care, and God bless. Now, where am I going to put all this?